Subriel Matias, I told you guys, I was never sold on this guy. Everybody was like, oh, he's the boogeyman, blah, blah, blah. All right, I'm just going to leave it at that.
I didn't plan on talking about it. We missed it last episode because we were so geared up for this fight card. Boxing has a PED problem. I tweeted it out. It's simple as that. Boxing has a PED problem, period. And Matias pops hot, and the guy has got an unbelievable motor and devastating power. How can this guy throw 90 punches around and never get tired? Ostarine.
He also killed a man in the ring, so let's not forget that. So yeah,
How about that?
so fuck this guy. I straight up, fuck this guy. Like you literally killed a guy in the ring, and now you're using fucking peds. Get out of here. I mean,
Crazy. Well, more of that will come.
I am about to annihilate this guy. This guy is a big Subriel Matias hater and a Puerto Rican hater at that. Chris Algieri, Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my...
Finish him.
I'm going to finish him. Chris
Finish
Algieri.
him. Finish him. Finish him.
You're done, Chris Algieri. You're done.
Finish him.
Whatever's left of your career is over. Tony Oso's going to come for your neck. I already did it at Pro Box TV a couple of years ago. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. Yeah, I want to talk about some great things that are happening in boxing. Some not so great, and some things I have to address as far as the accusation. But I want to start off with Tank Davis. Tank Davis. This is Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. I need to just get some things off my chest. And right now is the right time to do it. And I'm going to start by, other than the intro that I just showed everybody, I'm going to get to that a little later about Chris Algieri. But right now I want to talk about what's going on in boxing. As we all know, Tank Davis was supposed to have a lucrative matchup with Jake Paul. But he had some legal civil lawsuit regarding domestic allegations. That's why the fight was canceled with Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. And I don't really care about that circus of a fight, but I'm just reporting, stuff on boxing. So now we're going to have Anthony Joshua fight Jake Paul on December 19th in Miami, in Kaseya Center, Miami, exclusively on Netflix. Yes, I'm really excited to see Jake Paul get knocked the hell out by a real boxer, Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua doesn't have a chin, but I believe that he's more accomplished and he's a real boxer, and I think that that's a good way to put Jake Paul's career in a coffin. But he has no chin, but at the same time, I believe that he is a real boxer and a real accomplished champion. How you doing? How you doing? Joseph was, oh wow, Joseph was said hi. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. Thanks for being in my channel and subscribe to the channel and click like. I just enjoy everybody coming in. A lot of new people coming in and a lot of my regulars come in a lot. So I'm just waiting for them to come in as well. Yes, so I think that I think that's a fight that's gonna put Jake Paul career in a coffin. And I was wrong about Devin Haney, versus Brian Norman Jr. But I truly believe that Jake Paul is he's not a real talented fighter. He's just fighting the right people like Mike Tyson, old fighters and fighters that have passed their prime. Julio Cesar Chavez's son. That was a joke. All these fights. Then he wanted to fight Tank Davis, and I don't know. I just feel like it's unnecessary, these fights. But I believe that it's all for money, and I'm not knocking anybody that wants to make money. But real boxing fans don't want to see that. Doodle and Darky Fan said hi. Doodle, I don't want to butcher your name. Doodle and Darky Fan YT said hi. Thanks for tuning into the channel. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. So now we have Floyd Schofield, actually the mandatory world title at 135. and he is calling out for a shot at the 135 title belt against Tank Davis, Floyd Schofield. We don't know when Tank Davis is actually going to fight. He has a lot of legal issues, and I think he needs to get his mind right and his career back in order and give Lamont Rhodes Jr. a rematch, because I think Lamont Rhodes Jr. beat him, and they gave him a controversial draw. And right now, Lamont Rhodes is going to fight in December 6th. He's going to fight Pitbull Cruz, and the word is that if he wins that fight, he becomes the interim WBC champion. And he said and called out Subriel Matias, saying that he would like to fight Subriel Matias right after the fight with Pitbull Cruz. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, let's talk about Chris Algieri, the one-hit wonder. Chris Algieri, you are a one-hit wonder. You over here talking about Subriel Matias, talking bad about him, and you talk bad about anybody that's Puerto Rican. You talk bad about Felix Tito Trinidad. You threw innuendos at him. You threw a lot of you insinuated. You threw a lot of like indirects, like backhanded compliments. You said something to the effect of that you didn't like Felix Tito Trinidad until he had a loss, until he lost. That's when you started liking him. You are a hater. You are a Puerto Rican hater, a Puerto Rican boxing champion, elite fighter, hater. You are a hater of anybody that's accomplished way more than you, which you haven't accomplished anything, Chris Algieri. What have you accomplished in your boxing career? You've only been a champion for 5 months, and then you moved up in weight. You beat Ruslan Provodnikov. Okay, but that guy knocked you down 2 times, and he messed up your eye. You had a swollen, busted eye, and I think he beat you. You won by split decision in 2014 against Ruslan Provodnikov. That Russian guy did a number on you. You couldn't outbox him. You say you're so great that you can that Subriel Matias is one dimensional, that all you need to do is move and throw a jab and use lateral movement and you'll beat him. But if that's the case, how did Subriel Matias beat Alberto Puello? Alberto Puello was a great boxer, an elite boxer, but Subriel Matias proved that he could beat a great boxer. I beat Alberto Puello. He is great. Subriel Matias is great. You want to say that he gets hit too much, but what about you? You got hit with Provodnikov. Left and right. You lost that fight. I don't know how you won that belt. I don't know. The judges were blind, or they gave you a gift decision because they liked you, or it's just boxing politics. I don't know. You don't have that much weight in boxing. You didn't have that much weight back then, but you didn't win the fight against Provodnikov. They gave you a gift decision. You got knocked down 2 times in that fight. Chris Algieri, which I called you out in Pro Box TV years ago, and I had your eyeglasses steaming because you couldn't handle the truth of what I was telling you. Yes, you say things about Subriel Matias, that he murdered somebody and that he used illegal PEDs, whatever. He didn't use anything illegal. It was a contamination in the nutrition, and it could have happened to anybody because a lot of the nutrition that boxers take, sometimes they can have some Ostarine, but it wasn't done blatantly, because if it was done blatantly, like, he would have had a whole bunch of Ostarine in the system. He had the minimum of 0.85, not even 1 manogram. So in New York State, they allow 1 manogram to actually, a fighter to be allowed to fight in New York State. So the New York State Athletic Commission said that he's a clean fighter, and he's going to be able to fight January 10, 2026. The fight continues, but a lot of the mainstream, the boxing industry, they want to bring Subriel Matias down. They want to get rid of this guy. They don't want Subriel Matias to prove how great he is, and they don't want him to actually accomplish what he's accomplishing. He's accomplishing a lot. He's a 2-time champion, IBF and now WBC, and he's actually beaten an elite fighter in Alberto Puello, but people still don't want to give him the credit. People like Chris Algieri, who doesn't like Felix Tito Trinidad, fighters that were way better than him, way more accomplished. He doesn't like Subriel Matias. I think a Puerto Rican guy stole this girl in high school, or he must have got beaten up by a lot of Puerto Ricans in high school or when he was growing up. I don't know. He has a vendetta against Puerto Ricans. He has something personal against Puerto Ricans. I think that he's a hater, and he's jealous because Subriel Matias has accomplished more than him, more than he ever did in his career. Chris Algieri only fought for 5 months, and then he beat Provodnikov. He only had the belt for 5 months, and then he moved up in weight. A big money fight with Manny Pacquiao, and Manny Pacquiao for the WBO welterweight championship, and he got dominated by Pacquiao. He got dominated by Pacquiao. Like, come on, man. Chris Algieri, stop being a hater and stop being jealous of other boxers that are elite and way better and more established than you and more accomplished than you. Subriel Matias is more accomplished than you, way more accomplished than you, and you talk so bad about him, but you're just jealous because you haven't accomplished anything in your career. All you accomplished was a butt whooping and a gift decision with Providing Cup. Got knocked down 2 times. He had a busted, swollen eye. And they gave you a gift decision. You didn't even deserve to be the WBO champion that day. And then you moved up in weight 5 months later, didn't even defend the belt, have no honor whatsoever to defend the belt. You was just looking for a quick money grab because you know you're not that talented. Chris Algieri is not that talented. That's why he did what he had to do. He moved up in weight immediately 5 months after he beat Providing Cup, which he did. He should not have won that fight. He lost that fight, clearly. And then he moved up to fight Pacquiao for the welterweight championship. It was all a money grab because he knows he's not talented. Chris Algieri, you're not a talented boxer. You know that. I'm not saying that you know, like, what you had some kind of skill, but not enough in the elite level for you to stay champion. You just wasn't that good, and you know it. So your boxing ability wouldn't even have a chance. You wouldn't have even stood a chance against Subriel Matias. And you're talking so bad about Subriel Matias, and you're saying that he's a murderer, that he murdered people, you're insinuating that he used PEDs to when he accidentally I would say he didn't, when he fought the guy that he fought in the ring that died, he didn't intentionally kill him or anything. He died due to, you know, a previous condition that he had when he went inside the ring, and then it made it worse when he fought Subriel Matias because they didn't stop the fight in time. So it wasn't directly intentional from Subriel Matias, and it wasn't directly from the fight with Subriel Matias, but it contributed. So the Subriel Matias fight contributed to the death, but it wasn't the main reason why the boxer that he fought died. It was because he already had a pre-existing condition from the doctors. All right? So get your facts straight. Get your facts straight, Chris Algieri. You don't do your facts. A lot of times you don't do your homework. Do your homework. I mean, it's not like To Bring My Teeth is that great either. But you are right. He is way better than Chris Algieri ever was. Hey, thanks for tuning into the channel. Evangelist Angel Hernandez 4049. Thanks for tuning into my channel. I mean, yeah, man, that's true what you're saying. He's way better than Chris Algieri ever was. Yeah, he was wrong for saying that. He just wants clickbait. He just wants to get some notoriety. He just wants to get more status. That's why he's saying controversial, stupid things like that. Chris Algieri. I steamed up his glasses years ago when I said my comments on the Pro Box TV, and everybody was giving me respect. You know, because I was saying the truth, and Chris Algieri couldn't handle it, and Chris Algieri's glasses were steaming up. Check out those the Pro Box TV commentary about what the fans thought about the 140 weight class division. Pro Box TV like 2 years ago. You're gonna see that they highlighted Tony Oso's comments in like 3 shows, and you're gonna check that out, and you're gonna see how I had Chris Algieri steaming his glasses. Like, he was like so upset and irate because I called him out, and then he started talking about because you're Puerto Rican, you're going for Subriel Matias. He was just saying a lot of stuff. You could tell he was a hater from even back then. So now he's just proving it even more. So I'm just saying what it is. You know, I'm defending Subriel Matias because Subriel Matias is clean. He's clear to fight in Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York, in January 10th against Dalton Smith early next year. And I believe that Subriel Matias they're trying to stop Subriel Matias from accomplishing the elite, the mainstream, the boxing industry is so upset that Subriel Matias is in the position that he's in now, because Subriel Matias, he wasn't able, like they were trying to stop him, like Turki Al-Sheikh and Eddie Hearns. They wanted the fight to take place in Saudi Arabia, and they wanted all the advantages. And that's why they wanted to fight in either England or Saudi Arabia, where Dalton Smith will have the advantages because he signed to Eddie Hearn's Matchroom, and they did not expect that a Puerto Rican boxing promotion, Fresh Production Boxing, would outbid in the purse bid Matchroom Boxing. They didn't expect that. They outbidded Matchroom Boxing. They put more money than Matchroom, 1.9 million, and Matchroom put below that. And I feel like Matchroom Boxing is really butthurt right now because they didn't expect for a Puerto Rican boxing promotion like Fresh Production Boxing to actually outbid them in a purse bid and have control of where the fight will take place. Originally, it was going to take place in Puerto Rico, but Juan Durango of Fresh Production Boxing, a boxing promotion from Puerto Rico, decided that it was better to take Subriel Matias fight versus Dalton Smith to New York City in Barclays Center in Brooklyn because they wanted to make sure that Subriel Matias gets more money because he will get more money in Brooklyn, the Barclays Center, than he would get in Puerto Rico. And at the same time, it's the promoter saying that, you know, they know that Subriel Matias' fan base has grown immensely, and he has a big, strong fan base, and he proved that in the Alberto Puello fight, in the Alberto Puello victory between Subriel Matias and Alberto Puello, and Subriel Matias is able to get the money that he deserved, and he's going to get more money than Dalton Smith. Eddie Hearns and Turkey Sheik wanted to control the narrative, and they thought that they were going to be able to outbid Fresh Production Boxing, and they underestimated Fresh Production Boxing, and that's why we have Subriel Matias fighting with a Puerto Rican boxing promotion with its own main event, where the Fresh Production Boxing of Puerto Rico actually made history, bringing the fight outside of Puerto Rico. Is the first Puerto Rican boxing promotion that ever took a fight out of Puerto Rico into the States, and being outbidding an elite promotion like Eddie Hearn's Matchroom, which nobody saw that coming. And I believe that they're doing all this sabotaging to Subriel Matias, all the mainstream media, all the boxing industry, because they don't want Subriel Matias to be where he's at. They want to make sure that they get him out of the way, but they're not going to be able to do that because Subriel Matias proved with his Fresh Production Boxing promotion of Puerto Rico that Puerto Rican boxing promotion is a heavy players in the game, and they're making a statement, and they continue making a statement about what they did with Matchroom, outbidding them and putting more money for the fight and controlling the fight, the event, the fighters that are going to be in the event. Or Puerto Rican boxing on the undercard for the most part, and they're basically making sure that Subriel Matias gets his just due. And this is the first time that this has ever happened, that a Puerto Rican boxing promotion was able to bring boxing out of Puerto Rico to the United States and be successful at it. And we got to support Subriel Matias. We have to support him because there's a lot of people that don't want to see him shine, the mainstream, people like Chris Algieri, people like, I don't say Punch Drunk is mainstream, but he's an ass kisser. So I say Punch Drunk is also part of the haters. He's actually only promoting the negative narrative to actually get clickbait, to get people to watch his program. But he's disingenuous to his fans. He's just biased, and he does things just to get people to watch his channel. But at the end of the day, he's not a real boxing content creator. He's just a clown to me. Punch Drunk. He's a clown. And we got people like Sergio Mora saying stupid things on his show, saying that, that it's been going downhill for Subriel Matias, ever since he doesn't talk about the recent victory, of Alberto Puello. He doesn't talk about that the New York State Athletic Commission actually gave the green light for Subriel Matias to fight, and that he's clean, and that, that he had the minimum amount of Ostarine, which is 0085 monogram, which is not even 1%, which 1% is allowed in the New York State Athletic Commission of boxing in New York. So he is a clean fighter, but they don't want to talk about that. And you got clowns like Chris Algieri, who had a terrible career, a one-hit wonder, a bum. Chris Algieri was a bum. He's a one-hit wonder. He didn't accomplish nothing. All he did was beat Ruslan Provadenko, who Timothy Bradley beat, but Timothy Bradley got stunned by him in that fight. But Timothy Bradley is way more accomplished. Like you can't even mention Timothy Bradley in the same sentence as as Chris Algieri. Chris Algieri's a bum. He's just straight up a hater, a bum, and somebody that just wants to talk trash about Subriel Matias because I think a lot of Puerto Rican guys stole his girlfriends in high school and probably beat him up too. So that's probably why he feels like that. And I think Chris Algieri is a joke. And he shouldn't even be commentating. He just wants to get clout, and he wants to say controversial things like that so he could get clout, so people could pay attention to him. Because nobody ever paid attention to his career in boxing. He has a mediocre career in boxing. I don't even know if I could call that a career. He didn't even have a career in boxing. He's a joke. All right, I'm proud to see Puerto Rico. Tony also knows boxing behind our Taino Warriors. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate you, my brother. Thanks for tuning into my channel, and thanks for the comment. Hit the like button, says JJZ in there says hit the like button, everyone, and subscribe to as you enter. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for showing me all the love and support. Yeah, subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel where I keep it real and raw, and I don't unadulterated truth, and I don't back. And I'm calling out Chris Algieri for the bum that he is. He only fought for he only was a champion for 5 months, and he didn't defend his title, and he really lost that fight against Ruslan Provodnikov. Provodnikov knocked him down 2 times, busted his eye, and then he moved up and went and said, you know what? Let me get a big money fight with Manny Pacquiao because I'm a bum, because I don't have no skills. I don't have no talent. Like, he got minor skills. His skills weren't good enough to keep him in his career. So I say, Chris Algieri, before you start hating on people, do the research of what these fighters actually, you even know. You know that these boxers are better than you. Felix Tito Trinidad, you said that you like Felix Tito Trinidad after he lost. You're a clown and a troll. You're just jealous because you haven't accomplished anything in your career. What have you accomplished in your career, Chris Algieri? What? You won a belt? For 5 months you held it, and then you really didn't win that belt because Provodnikov busted you up. And I think he should have won the fight. It was a split decision. He knocked you down twice, and he busted your eye, and I think that was a gift decision. A gift decision. These fighters that you're talking so bad about are way, way better than you. You don't even deserve to be in the same conversation with these boxers like Felix Trinidad, Subriel Matias. They're way more elite. They're elite. You're not elite. What have you accomplished, Chris Algieri? Chris Algieri got knocked out by Conor Benn, who was on PEDs, then retired his ass. Yeah, man. You got knocked out by people that Trinidad would have freaking wiped his ass with. and Subriel Matias would have wiped his ass with too. You know, I'm trying not to curse. I'm trying to keep it clean, but this Chris Algieri guy, I gotta give Chris Algieri a name. Piss Algieri. You're just pure piss. You're piss Algieri. Or you piss people off with your stupidity. Piss Algieri means that he's full of piss. He's not an elite fighter, so he's a piss type of fighter. And he gets people pissed because he doesn't say things that are actually fair or accurate, or he just says things just to clickbait and troll people. So he's Piss Algieri. Piss Algieri! There's so many ways to piss on you, and there's so many ways that you piss people off because of your stupidity, and you are an intelligent guy, but you say stupid things too. So just because you are intelligent for what is convenient for you, you are not intelligent for other things. You are stupid in other things, in other areas. So I feel like you are a walking contradiction. Why don't you look at your career, Chris Algieri, whatever career you think you have? Because all you do is have a mediocre accomplishment of beating, or not really beating, but getting a gift decision from Provodnikov. And we all know you lost that fight, and then you moved up and waited and fought Manny Pacquiao. Okay, so now I know what it was. You said, well, my career is not going to last long because I'm not talented. Chris Algieri said that in his mind. So let me fight Pacquiao, move up and wait and make money. I ain't mad at that. You did what you had to do. But stop talking nonsense about Subriel Matias and saying things that are not true. He's not a murderer. He's not a murderer, and you're saying that because you want clickbait. You want people to like you. You want people to get mad at you and say, oh, Chris Algieri, why you said that? You know, that's just you building momentum from the hate and the stupidity of what you said to create a atmosphere where people react to you, and then you get more people to notice you. But you're never going to be respected. Not like that. You're not going to be respected truthfully like that. Like, if you're getting more hate than love, like, I'm pretty sure there's people that like you what you do and everything, but But the real boxing fans, the ones that know, the ones that you insult, like the Puerto Rican people, we on you, man. We on top of you. We're making you accountable. We're keeping you accountable for your nonsense. And we could talk about it as men if you want to, and we could elaborate. But at the same time, I'm a forgiving person, but the stuff that you do is you're doing it for clickbait. It's so obvious, man. Anybody with two eyes and a brain knows that you're doing that for clickbait just to get some kind of notoriety and to get more clicks and likes and more views. But you're very unclassy for that. I had more respect for you back then, but now my respect for you is down the drain. You are classless, man. You showing that you're not classy. You're not classy at all, Chris Algieri. You are not classy, and I don't find you funny, and I don't find you. I find you hilarious because you're making a fool out of yourself because you're not even evaluating what your career was, which you didn't really have a real career. You had a mediocre career. So you gotta look at yourself, man, before you start talking about Subriel Matias. Subriel Matias is levels above you, way better than you. And Pitbull Cruz is not even on the level of Subriel Matias. Pitbull Cruz is a punching bag. Subriel Matias has more skills than Pitbull Cruz. He has way more skills than Pitbull Cruz. But people that in the comments wanted to say stupid things like, oh, Pitbull Cruz has some skills. And no, Pitbull Cruz don't have no skills, man. He's a punching bag and he's a midget. And he's a good fighter, but he's a punching bag. He's more one-dimensional than Subriel Matias. Subriel Matias will wipe his butt with him. Subriel Matias will destroy him. Subriel Matias will knock him out. Subriel Matias has more technique, more boxing ability. He doesn't get the credit that he deserves. I'm not saying he's a Wayne Mayweather. I'm not saying he's a Pernell Whitaker. I'm not saying that. But he has some skills. For him to be able to be a two-time champion and to beat Alberto Puello, you have to have skills. You have to have some kind of skills. So for you to say that he's one-dimensional, Chris Algieri, you're retarded, man. You sound so retarded. You're a boxing commentator, right? So you should know better. You should know better. Like by you seeing the fight with Alberto Puello and Subriel Matias, you know that Subriel Matias is not one-dimensional if he was able to beat Alberto Puello. Somebody that you can't even beat in your career. You wouldn't be able to beat Alberto Puello. You wouldn't be able to beat all the undefeated fighters that Subriel Matias fought. You wouldn't be able to do that, Chris Algieri. Your career is limited. You had no career. You had no real career. You had a mediocre career. I'm complimenting you by saying the word career after mediocre. But mediocre career is what you had. You didn't have anything major, Chris Algieri. Chris Algieri, you're a bum. You're a straight up bum. All right? If you're going to talk about Subriel Matias the way you did and Felix Tito Trinidad, you liked him after he lost, that's retarded, man. That just shows that you're biased when it comes to boxing. You only follow the boxers that cater to you and you cater to them. But you don't like the Puerto Rican boxers for some reason, like Felix Trinidad and Subriel Matias. I don't know what's the problem that you have with Puerto Ricans. Did a Puerto Rican ever steal your girl in high school? Did a Puerto Rican ever beat you up? I don't know, man. I think so. It's possible that happened to you. All right. I'm a boxing fan for a long time. That's why I subscribe to JS Myth with Box Center, and I subscribe to your channel. I appreciate you, my brother. You subscribe to JS Myth. Shout out to JS Myth. I don't know who he is, but I'll definitely check him out. I just like everybody, that boxing content creators that keep it real, that are honest and authentic, and they say the truth and they don't hold back. They do their due diligence when it comes to the research. So yeah, JJ Zedenhas. JJ Zedenhas. Let me pronounce your name right. JJ Zendejas. Number 2 says, I'm a boxing fan for a long time. That's why I subscribe to JS Myth with Box Center, and I subscribe to your channel. I appreciate that, my brothers. Thanks for tuning into the channel, subscribing to my channel. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, because a lot of the boxing comments that I get, I see that a lot of people show me love and they show me respect and they like my authenticity, and I appreciate that. You guys give great opinions as well, and you give good boxing observations. So let me read what Boots 40 Cal says. What's crazy is they pro box commentators and be deriding Nahi, Chino, Lopez big time. Yeah, I don't think he's full Puerto Rican too. I don't think so. But they be deriding him because he's on that show, he's on that platform. But I give respect to Naji, Chino, Lopez, but he ain't no real like 100% Puerto Rican. I don't think he is, but he might be. But I don't think so. Like I don't think he is. But you know, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, if you have any information on that. But I support him regardless. But they be deriding him, but he's nowhere near a Felix Tito Trinidad or Subriel Matias. But they be deriding him. You're right about that. The boxing commentators on Pro Box, I'm not gonna knock all of them. I like Paulie Malignaggi. I mean, I don't agree with everything that he says, but I don't like the way Chris Algieri conducts himself, and the way he spazzes out and speaks things that is not even rational or really respectable to even consider like him a commentator is a joke, because if he's gonna say stupid things like that, he's just basically getting mad because Subriel Matias is way better than him and way more accomplished than him, two-time champion, and he beat Alberto Puello, a talented elite boxer with boxing ability, and Felix Tito Trinidad, a five-time champion in 3 different weight classes, who's accomplished way more than he ever has in his career as well. And you can't even mention Felix Trinidad or Subriel Matias in the same sentence with Chris Algieri. Chris Algieri is a joke. Chris Algieri is not a real boxing champion. He's a mediocre fighter and a mediocre career, and he was a mediocre champion. He was a paper champion. He wasn't no real boxing champion, but he's just trying to live off whatever he could live off and try to create some controversy so people could actually see his name to be relevant in boxing. But he's really irrelevant because he's saying, like, okay, the only thing he has left is a commentating career, but if he keeps saying stupid things like that, I don't think people are going to really respect him. And I know real boxing fans won't respect somebody like Chris Algieri when you say nonsense like that about Subriel Matias, trying to call him a murderer, trying to say that he cheated and that he's cheating that he cheated to get his victories, that he's insinuating that, and he cheated on, like he killed a boxer, like in the ring by cheating. He's a liar, man. He's just a person that says things controversially so people could mention his name, argue with him, call him out, and try to be relevant in some way for us in a really negative way like that, like the way he just did. He's just I think he's arrogant. I think Chris Algieri is arrogant, and he's partially stupid for saying stuff like that. He's intelligent in some things, but he's stupid in a lot of things. All right, Jay Smith is from the Dominican Republic. If you do go to his channel, let him know I sent you. We talk about boxing only just like your channel. It's called Box Center. I appreciate you, JJ Zendejas. JJ Zendejas, I appreciate you, man. I'm going to check him out. Jay Smith from the Dominican Republic. Shout out to him. Subscribe to my channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Yeah, so Boots 40 Cal, number 1. His father is 100% Boricua, and he represents the Bandera. Fought in PR for the PR team. Yeah, I think his mother's African American, right? It's all good. I mean, if he wants to represent Puerto Rico, that's fine. His father's Puerto Rican, but don't try to sit here and say he's pure Puerto Rican. But don't try to sit here and say that he's better than Felix Trinidad or Subriel Matias, like Pro Box TV is trying to support him like he's the next big thing. I'm gonna interview Joey Borrero, Felix Tito Trinidad's cousin. It's my second interview. He's gonna fight on December 20th against undefeated fighter. That's gonna be good at the 147 weight class division. So be in tune for that interview with me and Joey Borrero, Felix Tito Trinidad's cousin. I already interviewed him one time. This is gonna be my second time. And I'm supposed to interview Abisael Cotto as well and Stephanie Pinheiro. Be on the lookout for that. Abisael Cotto is he's the 10-0 with 8 KOs. He just dominated Felix Caraballo on the undercard of Juanma Lopez versus Gallo the producer. He won by unanimous decision, and he is the future. Abisael Cotto is the future of the 130-pound weight division. He is no joke. He is powerful, skillful, and he's athletic. He's tall. So we're going to see a lot from him. He's going to be the next champion of Puerto Rico. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. JJ Zendejas, number 2, says yes, correct. He's just agreeing with what I said previously. Yes, subscribe to my channel. Tony also knows boxing. And everybody that goes into my channel, even the new people and the regulars that come in here, they're all my family. And I'm really glad that JJ Zendejas gave his input and his commentary on my comments. I really appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel. And Boots 40 Cal, I appreciate your feedback as well. You know, what the comments that you said. JJ Zendejas says, I like this channel. I will let my boxing friends know about you. I just found your channel tonight. I appreciate that, my brother. Yeah, my channel's real, authentic, unadulterated truth. I don't hold back, and I keep it real. Like I have interviews with famous boxers from Puerto Rico, prospects that are going to be champions that signed with Universal Promotion. Check that out. I interviewed Yanquiel Rivera. I interviewed Abisael Cotto, my favorite boxer. I interviewed Stephanie Pinheiro, who's the WBA interim champion, and she's going to be champion as well. I interviewed Joey Borrero, Felix Tito Trinidad's cousin, and I'm going to interview him again. He's going to have a fight December 20th December 20th, real soon with an undefeated fighter, December 20th. And yeah, you know, I've been interviewing Malik Quinones too. I interviewed him, and he actually had a controversial loss to Juanma Lopez's son, Juanmita Lopez. So yeah, I interviewed a lot of people. Yeah, so check it out on my videos. I have interviews with those boxers. Subscribe to my channel, Tony Also Knows Boxing. I appreciate you tuning into my channel and finding out about my channel today. It's better late than never. You know, if you got to know about my channel today, it was meant to be the way you found my channel, discovered my channel. I'm glad that you found the channel and that you could enjoy real boxing content. And Tony also is gonna keep doing his thing for all his fans, all the people. And I'm going to Puerto Rico in December, and I'm gonna do a countdown to my channel to get 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, I want to get 1,000 subscribers before the year over, before this year's over, and that's gonna be my victory. So that's gonna be my victory if I get 1,000 subscribers before the year's over. If not, I'm gonna keep on striving and surviving and make my goal a reality to get even more subscribers. You know, I don't settle for less. But yeah, so let me read the comments over here. Boots 40 Cal. Okay, neither am I. I consider myself Boricua to the core. Born and raised in Brooklyn, Flatbush. That's what's up. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Marlboro Projects, Brooklyn, but one stop before Coney Island. Yeah, I got nothing but love for respect for my Boricuas from New York, my Boricuas from all over the planet, and my Mexican brothers, my Dominican brothers, my African American brothers, and my Anglo brothers as well. This is all a family. As long as we keep each other, you know, accountable for what's right and what's wrong, and we hold each other accountable and keep it real. And sometimes I call out other boxing content creators because they're not keeping it thorough. They're not being honest to their fans. So yeah, Felix Tito Trinidad, Boots 40 Cal says Felix Tito Trinidad is our icon. Subriel Matias is Puerto Rico, my favorite fighter for the longest from Puerto Rico. Yeah, man, he's my favorite fighter right now. David Benavidez, Subriel Matias. You know, I like, you know, I do like, what's his name, Shakur's boy. You know, the guy, I like Keyshawn Davis. You know, I'm a fan of his. I like, who else do I like? I like David Benavidez, Keyshawn Davis, Terrence Crawford, of course, Subriel Matias, David Benavidez, and Floyd Schofield. I like him too. I just want to see more. And I do like Lamont Roach. I think he's talented. I just sent your info to my boxing friends. I appreciate that. JJ's in their house. He just said, I just sent your info to my boxing friends. I appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel. Tony Also Knows Boxing. You're tuning into my channel. I'm gonna end it like this by saying thank you to all of you for tuning into my channel. And I got new people that tuned in today, and I really appreciate that. And I usually get a lot of my regulars coming here and new people, so you're all part of the family. So I'll be making more videos. I got an interview coming up real soon with Abisael Cotto, Stephanie Pinheiro, and Joey Borrero. I'm from California. JG's in there. Shout out to California. From New York, I'm in Florida right now. I appreciate you, JG's in there. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel and giving me your feedback. And shout out and much love to California. JG's in their house. I'm from California. Much love. Mad love to you, man. One love, my brother. Subscribe to that channel. Tony Also Knows Boxing. Thanks for sharing the information about my channel, my brother. All right. Boots 40 Cal. Really, I used to run around Marlboro houses when I was bugging in them streets long time ago. Word? Where you from, Boots 40 Cal? Before I go, I want to know where you from. You say you used to hang out at Marlboro Projects. Boots 40 Cal says, really, I used to run around Marlboro houses when I was bugging in them streets long time ago. Where you from? What part of New York you from? Let me know before I end this channel. I just want to know where you from, cause that's interesting. I grew up in Marlboro Projects, man. On the dark side, the high riser side, and the 86th Street side, the Stillwell Avenue side, and the 86th Street side, the 20 building side and the 8 building side. I grew up on both sides, but mostly on the 20 building side. They call that the dark side. They call the high riser side the other side. Booty. No, I didn't say that. Damn, I can't believe I said that. Boots 40 Cal. Yo, Tony, you know anyone from Church Avenue, Borough Park? Nah, I don't think so, man. I don't know what year it was. I got a little hate over here, a little troll. Let me see what he says. Let me see if it's worth Let me see if it's worth reading. Work hard, chilly. Work hard, chill. 67, 62. You have to stop calling folks haters because they're not with your movement. It's not about that. It's about being disingenuous and saying things that are not based on facts. Subriel Matias is clean. Chris Algieri said that he called Subriel Matias a murderer, and he said that he was the dirty fighter, PD. He's clean. The New York State Athletic Commission just said that he's clean. He can fight. So what? The test proved that he's clean. He was under the minimum of 1% of Ostarine nanogram. So I don't know what you talking about. You over here talking about that just because he's not following my movement. It's not about my movement. It's about following the truth, not being disingenuous and being a liar. I guess you like liars too. You got your 15 seconds of fame. All right? You like liars too. If you're a liar and you don't like the truth, then get the hell out of my channel. But if you like the truth and you embrace what I'm saying, I'm just calling out, when somebody's saying something inaccurate and they're saying something like to the effect of Subriel Matias being a cheater and being a murderer, that's a little extreme. That's too extreme, if you ask me. And that's not based on facts, because he didn't do it on purpose. And he had a previous condition. The opponent that lost his life in the ring with Subriel Matias had a previous condition before he went in there. Get your facts straight. I always say, before you speak your mind about something, get your facts straight before you open your stupid mouth. And I say anybody who agrees with what Chris Algieri said is a hater too. So if you're on my channel and you're hating, then get out of my channel. I got plenty of people that show me love and support because I keep it real. I don't need to kiss your ass so you can stay on my channel and like me. You either like me or you don't. I'm gonna keep it real for my fans. I'm not gonna sacrifice the truth for nobody. So yeah, you can get out of my channel if you don't like me saying the truth. That's all I'm saying. Work hard, chill. 67, 62 says, I watched the Subriel fight. Relax, Migo. All right, I'm gonna relax. But when you're saying something about when I call people out because call people haters because they don't follow my movement, that's inaccurate. It's not about following my movement. You don't have to follow my movement. You don't have to agree with me. But I say, when you say things, outlandish comments like that, like the way Chris Algieri said about Subriel Matias, I think that's really being over the top and not really being genuine and not getting your facts straight, because there's no factual foundation on what he's saying. He's been proven innocent already, Subriel Matias. He's already cleared to fight. The New York State Athletic Commission already gave him the green light to fight. So that's the reason why I went hard at Chris Algieri, not because he's not following my movement, it's because he's not following the truth. He's being disingenuous. He's saying things that are based on hate and non-facts, calling Subriel Matias a dirty fighter and just basically saying F him. Like, why? What did he do to you? What did Subriel Matias do to you for you to feel like that? You just want to say things like that just to get clickbait and get the people to actually make you relevant in boxing. Boots 40 Cal says, I was born in the 70s. Yeah, but I was born in the 70s too, but what part of New York you from? Because you say you used to hang around in Marlboro, right? All right. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. I had to call Chris Algieri out, and whoever doesn't like it, they have to deal with it. And if Chris Algieri don't like it, he could come see me if he wants. He ain't ready for this. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. Subriel Matias is a clean fighter.